Judith Otto,
Yes.
Mr. Matthew Gonzalez,
Yes.
and Mr. Dennis Feld.
Yeah.
And I do accept.
Just as we continue here to wait for the presenter for 140 Summit Street, on the agenda, as always, in other matters probably before the board, I was going to bring this up, but if it is okay with the chairman and the board, I wish to, at the moment while we wait, bring up that today the board, as requested by them at their December meeting, had requested that the applicants for the previously approved 47 Tremont Street provide a plan showing the grading and retaining wall that was out there that was under quite discussion at that meeting. Attorney Kelty has provided the board with a letter and plan that is here in front of the board now, and Attorney Kelty is here if the board wishes to discuss or if Attorney Kelty wishes to explain what we are seeing.
John Kelty for AGA Foster LLC. Yes, following the last meeting, Mr. Mello and I were both present at the meeting. We took some notes as to what the board expected to be presented for this evening's meeting, and I believe that it was detail of the wall, elevations of the wall, state of completion of the wall, and I believe that that is all depicted on the plan that was submitted. It's a two-sheet plan. Second sheet shows the wall in its entirety and the slope and grade of the wall. The top sheet actually shows the wall in relation to the grades at the other portions of the site. So if the board requires more or would like to suggest that anything need be added, or does this meet the needs of the board? Thank you.
This time I accept questions from the board. Mr. Gagnon.
Through the chair. Jack, so is it not been started yet, or is it completed?
I believe it is completed.
All right. I didn't even think of going by there. I'll go by there tomorrow, but, so.
No.
Which wall?
The wall we're talking about?
Is there a note on the plan suggesting what portions are completed and which are not? I'm not.
Big concrete wall. We've got the big concrete wall that's already constructed that was...
Yes, that was existing.
That's to be existing.
And then the wall to the rear of the premises is what has been under construction, and we discussed joining the two walls.
Yeah, so there
And that's what this depicts, but the joinder is not done.
I'm there once a week. I can take a look next week, but yeah, I think a portion of the wall from Tremont Street over behind the proposed building is existing, and then it picks up at the corner of the proposed building all the way to the concrete poured wall. That was kind of one of the walls that were in contention. Right, yeah, in through here. So, yeah, I don't know if it's all complete, but I know the concrete wall is complete. And we got documentation that an engineer reviewed the installation of that?
Yes. If you would like me to submit the name of the engineer, et cetera, I can do that for the record. I'll do that.
Actually, I thought I read a memo or a report from that engineer. He was a New Hampshire engineer, based in New Hampshire, but he was certified in Mass. All right.
But I can resubmit. If the board pleases, we would go back to 140 Summit. With me this evening is Michael Shunta, and Mike is one of the principals at Atlantic Oliver Capital, the owners of the land, and Mike wanted to take a couple of minutes tonight to give a brief presentation with respect to where we are with respect to compliance with the peer reviewers and perhaps a couple of other matters that he intends to bring you up to date on. With that, I'll give you Michael Shunta.
Perfect. Thank you, Jack. Good evening, board. Apologize for my tardiness tonight. Want to thank you all for allowing us to be here tonight to present our project. Really, I wanted, like Jack said, an opportunity to discuss the progress that we've made with the project and also a few updates to the design that have been a result of either the peer review process or in conversations with the Conservation Commission and also the Zoning Board of Appeals. So again, a quick summary. The property is located at 140 Summit Street. It's an existing facility. The tenant is Christian Book. They assemble and store and warehouse Christian Book and Christian supplies. Currently, Christian Book is leasing space at 3 Technology Drive, and the project that is proposed in front of the board is a master plan of Christian Book to really consolidate their operations, to eliminate their lease at 3 Technology Drive, and to be able to manage all of their operations at the 140 Summit Street property. So the design that we have submitted to the board for site plan approval is 100% warehouse space. It's 82,790 square feet. If you can pull up the updated site plan. No problem. Perfect. So what we brought up here on the screen is a colored graphic visual of the overall site plan of the site, and it does include the modifications that I briefly touched on earlier that have transpired since the original application submittal. The first one I would like to connect on is we had some comments that came back from the notice of intent that was submitted from the DEP. The comment from the DEP is, if you can see, the expansion is the yellow portion of the building there. There is, today, it's an existing grass field. We are building the addition in that grass field, but based on the flagging that we did with Goddard Consulting, it was determined that a portion of that grass field is within the 200-foot outer riparian of the brook. So what we had to do to be compliant with the stormwater requirements is we had to do a riverfront mitigation. This is considered a redevelopment within a 200-foot riverfront zone. So what we did is we have to do a 1-for-1 mitigation. So how we solved for that is, if you could scroll up slightly, there's an additional brook just to the north, on the north side of our property, that has existing asphalt in the 200-foot and within the 100-foot inner riparian. So we identified a location of existing asphalt, which is in the upper right side. And what we're going to do is we are going to eliminate the existing hardscape asphalt in that area and create a riverfront replication, which is basically planting it with riverfront native seed and native plantings to recreate a riverfront condition that does not exist today. What that does is it does eliminate an existing hardscape that Christian Book is using for maintenance and facility purposes. So what we added is the existing truck dock on the east side of the building there. We added a truck dock apron to the east side there, which will help Christian Book with their truck circulation and movements to help them more appropriately back in trucks into their existing loading dock.
Is that the existing location of the basketball court today?
That is the existing the existing location of the basketball court. The existing sites today are not ideal for Christian Book. They actually, for some of their larger trailers, have to pull up and onto the basketball court in order to back them into that truck dock. So by doing this, it would make it much more functional than what it is today. And that truck apron expansion is not located in the 200-foot river outer riparian. Overall, it does reduce the total parking on site, but we are still zoning compliant with the parking that we have. Ty and bond, peer review comments are final. A few items that we had to do. Ty and bond did the traffic safety, site circulation, and parking peer review for our project. At the end of the report, we agreed to cut some existing vegetation along Summit Street to help with the visual distances that you can see when you pull up and stop at that intersection. We're also going to relocate a stop sign to locate it closer to the correct location, the stop location, to help cars see oncoming traffic on Summit Street. We added some pedestrian crossing signage on site, and we clarified the intent of the security guard shack and the gates that were shown on the original drawings, but we clarified what the intent of that, and it's all for vehicle and pedestrian safety. Horsley-Witten comments we have received, we have responded to, and we are waiting their subsequent review. Overall, a lot of technical questions, nothing really modified the design of the site. There were some technical questions with engineering, but nothing really changed from the original site that was submitted for the project. And again, we are still awaiting Horsley and Witten's response to our review. We did have to be in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals based on the building height. Zoning allows 40. Our proposed addition matches the existing height of the building. The existing height of the building back in 2016, when it had the last addition, had to get a variance from the ZBA for the height. We pretty much matched, again, the parapet matched the existing building height, so we had to go back in front of the ZBA to get another variance request, and that was approved at their December hearing. And we are still in the NOI conservation order of conditions process. We are, again, waiting Horsley and Witten's final peer review comments, and we hope to have their comments back in the near future. So that's where we are today. I would like to open it up to the board if there's any questions about the project or any questions about some of the site modifications that I just updated.
Do we have any questions from the board?
I just have a couple questions. Yeah, I know it's not shown on this plan, but it seems like the guard shack's still gonna be there, correct, in the entrance and?
Yes, so the guard shack, it's really faint, but if you can zoom in, it's a little white rectangle. It's a little white rectangle. The Christian Book's intent is to have a guard located there during operation hours, and for a few different reasons: for site safety, also for vehicle and truck circulation safety. So the loading dock on the north here, for the circulation of truck traffic on this site is counterclockwise. So a truck will come in, go south, and then around the addition, and then in order to get in that truck dock, we'll actually have to pull west of it and then back up. So under that situation, the guard in the shack would actually make sure that the area is clear. They would put down traffic barriers, and they allow the truck to back up. And then once the truck is safely in its position, they would raise the barriers.
And then that, I take it that's sidewalk shown right there, but it's just going to be driven over?
Yes, it's going to be a flush concrete sidewalk.
From the original proposal till now, the building addition has stayed the same size, correct?
Correct.
It's not changing, okay. And the only really large changes is just that this is going to be, the basketball court will now be truck area, and as well as this area in the back. I take it that helps with them going south to north, the truck traffic in the back here?
So the you can kind of see it here. The truck traffic is the whiter colored asphalt. Yeah, so that's the primary truck route around the site.
So what will this is clearly going to be new area because it's being shown as grass and it looks like concrete right here. Is that just?
So it's going to actually, the grass area that's green is actually going to be replication riverfront. So it's native seed and native tree plantings to replicate what the riverfront should be. The asphalt area there is for maintenance purposes, so they have a few pieces of equipment that they want to locate there and potentially some sand that they want to have there for their operations.
I know this is out of our purview, but that was okay with Concom that in the new riverfront area you'll be storing equipment and things of that nature?
So that is what we have submitted. We are still in front of Concom to get their approval.
Yeah, is that, it doesn't, I can't tell, I don't think that's topography lines. It looks like water lines. Are those blue marks or is that topography?
That is not topography, it is the river. So the black line on the north is the edge of the mean annual high water. And that is what dictates the 100 front inner riparian and the 200 foot outer riparian. I don't have the specific ratio here, but it is the requirement for the replication is 1-for-1 under a redevelopment of a previously disturbed area. Our final ratio, I apologize, I don't have this here, but it's right around 1.5 to 1 based on this plan.
I'll just say that the Community Development Department does not have any issues with this project at all. Kirsten Brook Distributors is a great company in the city of Peabody, so we're happy to hear that they're expanding because clearly their business is doing great and that they need this. But there's just just wanted to make sure there was little things tightened up. The architectures are still staying the same from what was originally proposed. Nothing new.
Yeah, the only clarification, and it was identified when we were getting ready to submit the variance request application to the ZBA, is that the elevations originally showed a parapet height of 42.0. When we verified existing parapet height and existing slab elevations, it was clarified that it was actually supposed to be 42 feet 6 inches. That was the only, and it wasn't a change in the height or anything, it was just a clarification to the actual dimension on the elevation.
That is not affecting site plan as much as that's just aesthetic and everything. I will say that we're very happy to see that you're making an effort to provide, not only is it you need to provide plantings, but to, provide plantings on the side of the building that will be inland a little bit, make it look really nice. Yeah, I think once the planning board has this final closeout memo, which I believe is incoming in your next board packet, the city or community development department is in support of this project.
Great.
Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
The only thing I'm going to add is a formal request that this matter be continued to February 1.
Mr. Chairman, move to receive a formal letter from Attorney Jack Kelty dated January 18th, 2024, in a matter of 140 Summit Street, requesting an extension of time until February 1st, 2024. Move to receive and grant said extension.
We have a second. Dr. Otto?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Any other matters probably before the board?
Mr. Chairman, if I will, or if I may, as you all know, I'd mentioned this earlier at a previous meeting last year, but the city is currently undergoing the updating of our city's master plan. And as such, we've started to reach out to different boards and commissions because, the planning board is a decision maker in the city of Peabody, and we believe that their say is extremely important for and critical to the updating of said master plan. For the February meeting, I plan to have a little presentation about the board. As I mentioned, I wanted to keep you guys updated. So right now we had our first public kickoff meeting in November. We gathered some really great feedback from the community. And right now, the consultant is working on baseline conditions of the city. I plan to come to the first February meeting to discuss what we've kind of been working on, where we're going with it, and to gather more feedback from the board. So I just want to make everybody aware of that, and to stay up to date on what is happening. I also wanted to make note that it's been mentioned here tonight as well, but in your packets and what you received, what you're receiving tonight is the hard copies for a site plan review that will be in front of the board at their next meeting as well. So make sure you take those home, and I will provide digital copies as well as always. And then at the next meeting, I spoke to Bob Langley today, engineering, which is the memos we're really waiting on at the moment. He is working diligently, and we should have those by the next meeting.
Thank you, Andrew. Any other matters before the board? Hearing none, I will accept a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn.
We have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. And again, thank you very much.